Denmark's team doctor has confirmed Christian Eriksen suffered a cardiac arrest after collapsing during Denmark's game against Finland yesterday. Eriksen is now stable in hospital, with the doctor also saying results of medical tests carried out have been normal so far. The situation evoked worrying memories of Fabrice Muamba. He collapsed after suffering a cardiac arrest during Bolton's FA Cup quarter-final with Tottenham in 2012. And Muamba has been speaking to our reporter, Paul Gilmore.
Him being alive is literally the best thing of anything come out of this Euro 2020. Regardless, whoever wins the tournament, is that Christian is okay, is healthy. If he can remember people, which is even better news. And that's what this Euro is about now. It's just making sure that Christian can get home safe and help to build his recovery from there now, really.
The Denmark team doctor confirmed Eriksen had suffered cardiac arrest and that he was gone before he was resuscitated. I mean, that again just brings it home, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you have to give credit to the medical staff. I mean, how quickly they got into the pitch, how well they were able to cover him, and the strenuous pressure. Obviously, this game was worldwide. Everybody's watching it. It could be a lot of pressure for the medical people how to deal with this situation. So for them to get it right and to be able to do that CPR stuff as quickly as they can and to get Christian in a good position, they deserve a lot of credit. And also now that we hear that he's in a better position, which is a good news as well. So all in all, it seemed like everything is moving in the right direction.
What memories did it bring back for you?
Oh God. I was watching it. We went to Nottingham with the family, and I was watching it, and then it just happened. Literally, my phone just literally become crazy, and I was like, God, please, not this one again. It's like there's a feeling that you don't want to relive again, and those are the feelings I put right the back down there, and to see somebody going through it, you're like, please just come through, and then see whatever happened will be a bonus. So for me to hear that he's responding in his recovery was probably the best news of this Euro, And then I was worried about his family, because a lot of people get to focus on the guy who was on the floor, but they forget that he's got family as well, so, and his children. So it's more of a concerning that they get a better health, better check up after the effect of it, because it can have a lasting effect on the family. And the most important thing that is that Christian seems to be okay. I hope he's okay, and I hope he make a fully recovery. And then, as I said, it's always the feeling that you just don't want to get back and feel again, put it that way.
What about your journey from that moment when your heart stopped for 78 minutes and what you've had to go through in the years since? Have you any advice for Christian Eriksen and his family? I
think for me it's pretty early to speak in regarding to my situation and Christian's situation. I think number one is make sure you give him the space he needs, and then from there they can decide what they want to do. And for me, I would say his health should be the number one priority. Health is his mental health, his physical health, his family mental health as well. Let alone not his family, but also his teammates, because some of them they've never experienced anything like this before. That would be a number one priority, to make sure that has been taken care of before we get into the pitch side stuff, So, and make sure you give him the space to recover, and then from there he can decide what he wants to do. If he wants to carry on playing, that's his decision. I can't force him, or I cannot advise him on that one. Those are the medical people who are expert on that. But it's just a great news that we keep hearing that he remembers a lot of people, and he sees his family, and he's awake.
Yeah, on that evening he was stable, he was talking, he spoke to his teammates and said to continue on with the match. So they finished the match. Was that a surprise for you that the game finished?
I mean, yes and no, but I think I would give the team about 24 hours, just that, knowing that he's okay, then give yourself 24 hours before you play the game. But if you felt the need of telling them to carry on playing, that's good for them on this side. But it, I'm sure he never experienced anything like this before in his life. It never, and I'm watching it from miles away from him. I'm hoping, say, please, Christian, come on, man, come on, and to hear that he's in a road to recovery, which is the brilliant news, the best news. It's great for everybody, and I just hope that he can. Now we just give him the space that he needs, and then from there we can see what happens. To make a judgment call on somebody's health, it takes a lot of people before you make that decision.
For you, going back to yesterday, was it a case of having that sick feeling at the pit of your stomach, saying that? Was it a case of, this really is bringing back distressing memories?
It was both the sick feeling and that feeling of just, this is not what I want another fellow professional to go through, let alone, you want him 27 years of age to carry on the playing and to finish his career on high. He just won the Serie A with Inter Milan, so everything seemed like he's going in the right direction, and this happened. Playing at home as well, you're like, come on, so. But you've got to give credit to the medical staff, the ambulance people. I think they did an amazing job. And also the Denmark squad to rally around that circle bay of protecting the image of him, because you don't want to remember Christian Eriksen, that last image of him being on that side like that. So to protect that image of Christian, and to make sure that the medical staff get in there and did the right job. You can see they went in there, did the CPR straight away, which he responded to as well. So which is a good news.
And we saw the Denmark captain, Simon Kjær, get him into the recovery position as well. Check his airways were clear. Kasper Schmeichel was involved in consoling Christian Eriksen's wife. It really showed off the best of, this was no longer about football at this point.
Yeah, I think with our sport sometimes we get a negative press, but I think that shows when we all come together on one common goal, what we can achieve. Everybody has to play their part. Kasper makes sure that, Eriksen is partner and they're okay. The captain in one side there, tell him to the best position. You have to be trained to be able to do that. This is not something clearly he's been trained to do it. So he knew what he was doing to put him in that position, and to make sure that he opened the airways, then the ambulance coming in to do the older stuff, which was good to see.
What improvements do you think, compared to what happened yesterday, comparing it to your situation, can you see improvements have been made in that area over the years? Did what happened to you, do you think, did it almost make football sit up and realise that this is a serious problem? They've got so much better at dealing with this, at reacting.
I mean, the standard of medical care, it's better.
Yeah.
And the standard of looking after player is better. And how people can get on top of it is good as well. And how the access of medical staff to international stadium is good as well, which is good to see. Because there's other stadium don't have access to it like the way we have it here in England. So you can see the way the stadium is built, the ambulance can get in and out, and the player can get in and out when they find themselves in that situation, which is good.
And the match referee, Anthony Taylor, realised within seconds as well. He was quick to react. How much do you praise his actions?
I think Anthony and his colleague did a good job. And I actually spoke to him this morning. I just make sure he's okay, because that can be a bit overwhelming, So I think even his colleague being able to recognize the situation, seeking help as quickly as they did, and be also composed himself. And to referee the game as well, coming for 90 minutes is not easy. So yeah, they deserve good credit for that.
You mentioned you've spoken to Anthony Taylor. How is he after this?
He's okay. I spoke to him briefly for about 5 minutes just to check that mentally he's okay. So he's okay. Excuse me.
Just to talk about the CPR that was given, defibrillator obviously played its part, one sort of zap of that, and Christian Eriksen was back. Just how much importance do you place on things like that? You know, the education, everything that comes with that, and not just in the professional game, but further down the chain, grassroots, even in everyday life.
I think with the CPR or then how to do that kind of stuff, it should be mandatory and everybody should know how to do it. And once you know how to do it, you'll be able to save somebody. And that situation just shows again how important to have a good medical care available to places which are all professional level we have. Also, it shows that the captain being able to turn him in the position that he did for Christian, it shows that he was educated and know how to do it. It's something that people need to learn. If you don't learn how to do it, then you will know what to do when you get yourself in that situation. So, in regarding to that side, I think there's a lot that we should be aware of, a lot that we should be thankful that the messages are there, but we still got a long way to do. But it's getting better than before.
And is there any more football authorities can do in terms of, you know, taking what's happened on board? Is there anything they can look at from a player welfare point of view? And I know it's obviously as well difficult to not speculate on exactly, you know, we know it's cardiac arrest, but is that an area that can still be worked on further?
I don't, it's very difficult to pick up somebody who has a genes problem. You know, this could be a freak accident on Christian's behalf. Nobody knows yet. And I'm sure there will be a lot of tests going forward to we actually know the cause of the accident. But as long there is a quick responsive side of it, of getting the medical attention as quickly as possible, that's always make a difference, which it has made a difference. And it did make a massive difference yesterday, and we also saw it as well. So in that note is just keep learning about that side, keep learning about, emphasize the importance of doing CPR, emphasize being able to do to use a defibrillator, you know, make it mandatory if it has to be. Because if it can happen in a pitch, it can happen to anybody anywhere else. So it's important that we keep that message going.
And at some point in the future, when we know he is talking to people and he's stable at the moment, but if there gets to a point in his recovery, would you like to try and have a conversation with him and try and just have a chat?
No, I mean, whenever the time is right, I think you have to be respectful of the individual. So whenever time is right, I'm sure I will send a message and just to make sure he's okay, you know, and so that I'm glad that he makes it pull through, because it could have been a lot worse, you know. But the best thing about this tournament is that Christian is okay. That's what all I want to hear, all I want to see. The result don't matter to me or to matter to anybody else. Well, to me, it doesn't matter. I think him being okay and alive, that's the most important thing.